All right, let's dive right into one of the most incredible systems in all of biology, the command and control of male reproduction. We're talking about a world of microscopic competition, super complex chemical signals, and a top-down management system that is just, well, engineered to perfection. Okay, just to get us started, let's kick off with a number, 120 million. Just think about that for a second. That's the high end for how many sperm cells can be crammed into a single milliliter of semen. It's just mind-boggling, right? So to figure out how the body can possibly build and manage an army this big, we gotta look at the whole system, from the ground up. And here's how we're gonna break it all down. First up, we'll follow the sperm's epic journey. Then we're gonna take a tour of the factory where they're actually made. From there, we'll zoom out to see the brain's control system, meet the hormones that act as messengers, and finally, look at how all this knowledge gets put to use in medicine today. So let's start with our hero, if you will, the single sperm cell. Its journey is one of the toughest races in the entire natural world, and it definitely doesn't go alone. It gets launched with a seriously specialized support package. Now, this is so cool. Semen isn't just, a liquid to carry things. No way. It's a high-tech support package. You've got fructose, which is basically pure rocket fuel for the sperm's tail. You have prostaglandins, which actually cause contractions in the female reproductive tract to help pull everything in. There's spermamine, which acts like a shield against acidic environments, and you even have clotting factors that create a little depot that then dissolves for a timed release. It's a brilliant biological strategy. And the odds of this journey? They are just astronomical. I mean, you start with anywhere from 50 to 120 million, and only about 100 even make it to the final destination. They've only got about 2 days to survive in there, and when all is said and done, only one single sperm can succeed. Now, that's not waste. That's nature's ultimate quality control, making sure that only the absolute best candidate gets the job done. So, 100 million contenders. Where on earth do they all come from? Well, to find out, we have to take a tour of the production facility itself. We're going inside the testes. Now, the official name for this whole production process is gametogenesis. It's a fancy word, but all it really means is the process of creating gametes, in this case, sperm, inside the primary sex organs. This is where the magic happens, turning regular cells into these little mobile genetic delivery machines. Inside this factory, you've basically got two specialized teams. On one hand, you have the Sertoli cells. Think of them as the nurturing crew. They support the developing sperm, they feed them, and they even create a special protective barrier to keep the body's immune system away. Then you have the Leydig cells. They're the production line. Their main job is to crank out that all-important hormone, testosterone. You absolutely need both. And the factory building itself? It's perfectly designed for the job. The scrotum is the climate control, keeping everything about 2 degrees Celsius cooler than the rest of the body, which is critical for making healthy sperm. The testes, of course, are the main production floor. And the epididymis? That's the warehouse and the training ground, where sperm hang out and mature for 40 to 60 days until they are fully ready for their mission. Okay, so we've got the factory and we've got the workers. But who's giving the orders? Who's the boss telling the factory when to speed up or slow down? For that, we've got to go upstairs to corporate headquarters. In the brain. The whole operation is run by something called the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis, or HPG axis for short. And it's just this beautiful chain of command. At the very top, you've got the hypothalamus. It's the CEO, sending out orders as pulses of a hormone called GnRH. Those orders go to the pituitary gland, which is like the manager. The manager then sends out its own instructions, hormones called LH and FSH, down to the factory floor, the testes. There, LH tells the Leydig cells, make testosterone. And here's the brilliant part. That testosterone isn't just the product. It's also the feedback that goes all the way back up to the CEO and manager to tell them, okay, we're good, or we need more. It's a perfect self-regulating route. All right, so let's actually meet these chemical messengers, the hormones that are carrying all the instructions back and forth. This is the language the body uses to talk to itself. So let's start with the big one, testosterone. And here's something that's really, really important and kind of surprising. Your body makes a ton of it, but guess what? Almost all of it, like 98%, is tied up, bound to other proteins in your blood. That means only that tiny little 2% is free and bioactive, which means it's actually able to get into cells and do its job. That little detail is hugely important.
And it's not just about testosterone. Other hormones, like estrogen, also play a huge role, even in the male system. And they are incredibly versatile. They have this two-pronged attack plan. You've got what's called the architect mode, a genomic action. That's the slow burn. The hormone goes right inside the cell, into the nucleus, and changes which genes get turned on or off. It's a long-term renovation project. But then you've also got the first responder mode, non-genomic action, and that is fast. It acts on the surface of the cell to trigger immediate changes.
So you might be thinking, okay, this biology is fascinating, but why does it matter to me? Well, because by figuring out this entire command structure, we've developed some incredibly powerful tools in modern medicine. Let's take a look. This is where it all comes together. This is our hormonal toolkit. For example, if you want to treat infertility, you can give a drug that mimics the brain's natural pulse of GnRH to kickstart the whole system. But if you need to treat prostate cancer, which feeds on testosterone, you do the opposite. You give a continuous supply of a similar drug, which, funnily enough, shuts the whole system down and starves the cancer. We use different hormones for contraception, for gender-affirming therapy. We are literally hacking the HPG axis to get the medical results we want. It's amazing. But, and this is a really big but, while these tools are incredibly powerful, you have to be so precise. There's a critical catch here. The effect of any of these hormone therapies is massively dependent on things like the person's age. This is not a sledgehammer approach. It's more like a scalpel. It's highly personalized medicine, and it's all based on the biology we've just been talking about.
So, we've gone all the way from a single cell fighting impossible odds to a brain-level control system that we can now literally program with medicine. We can essentially program our own biology. And that just leaves you with this one huge question. What's the next frontier? Now that we can do all this, what comes next? That's something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.